Say it again, my dear. Yes, it is. This book is in English as well. Yes. Yes. Hello everyone, welcome. We're so happy that you're all here, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Donna Chmara, and I'm the editor of her book, Surviving Genocide. And for people who don't know her story, I'm just going to give you a little history of who she is as an author and a person, and then she's going to give you a speech about what she's done with all the different people she's interviewed, etc. And then afterwards, the books are for sale in the front, and then she'll be here for signing and conversation. I would like to introduce the author, Donna Chmara, and tell you about her story. Donna was 10 weeks old when her family was put in a cattle car train, deported from her home her father had built in what was once Eastern Poland. She survived the first 2 years of her life in a forced labor camp in Nazi Germany. After World War II, the family became homeless refugees before their eventual arrival in the United States, making the transition from refugee to citizen in America. She became an educator and author. During college, she was a one-year exchange student at the University of Saskatchewan in Canada. After college, she taught English for 2 years as a Peace Corps volunteer in Turkey, where she maintains many friendships, and she just recently took a trip there in October, right?
I ate a lot of good hummus.
And she ate a lot of good hummus and Mediterranean. Coming home, she taught English at the high school and college levels, including Trenton Central High School and the College of New Jersey. During her travels, she has taught in places as varied as Poland, Thailand, Myanmar, and Burma. She also held positions in public schools administration, which is where we met many years ago. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the College of New Jersey and a Master of Arts in English with a major in medieval literature from Temple University in Philadelphia. On a personal note, Donna participates in interreligious and multicultural projects and loves to garden, dance, swim, and learn from other people's wisdom. I am so honored to have the honor of introducing to you Donna Chmara, author of Surviving Genocide.
Before I start, I want to tell you a story. This book has good karma because Magda over there in the back ordered the book with a lot of other things, shoes and clothes and everything, and it was on her front door. It was delivered, and it was stolen. The whole package was stolen. She saw on her camera that someone was there. Would you like to come in and sit down? She said, and maybe we can get off. There's 2 chairs here. Beth, there's a chair here. We'll get more chairs. Sorry. So she saw on her camera that the package had been stolen. Well, a few days later, they took everything, but they returned the book. So this book has good karma. They knew it was important that this lady read this book. Okay, so, but what I want to talk, let's start by talking about neighbors. Okay, neighbors. We all have neighbors. I have terrific neighbors over there. Mary and Michael Hartchick who came. They're wonderful neighbors. They're in the terrific category. Other neighbors are just okay. Others are not so nice. But we managed to live together. That wasn't the case with Poland, as her very existence was threatened more than once by her neighbors. Let me explain with a brief history. At the end of the 18th century, Poland was swallowed up from three sides by Russia, Prussia, and Austro-Hungary. It was removed from the map of Europe for 123 years. There was no Poland on the map, but there was a Poland in people's hearts and literature. After World War II, in 1918, Marshal Józef Pilsudski was the driving force that brought an independent Poland back on the map of Europe, but only for 20 years, because after that, Poland was again invaded, this time in 1939, this time from the west by Nazi Germany and from the east by the Soviet Union. A lot of people don't know that Poland was invaded by two sides. And the title of my book is Surviving Genocide, Personal Recollections. The word genocide speaks to forceful, violent attacks. I will show you why that word applies to the brutalities unleashed upon Polish citizens in World War II. Here is an inverted triangle. On top of the triangle, we have, I think we're needing more. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm delighted to see new faces. On top of this triangle, we have the broad idea of conquest. It's usually a land grab, or usually involves forced labor, ideas of racial superiority. The idea here was that Polish citizens, its many minorities, and various categories of people, such as handicapped people, must be eliminated. Most people know about the horrific murder of 6 million European Jews, and they should know about this. But the media, in my life in America, the media and the school curricula rarely discuss the millions of Polish Christians who died from forced labor, exposure, hunger, and abuse at the hands of Nazi Germany and Communist Soviet Union. How do we know about Hitler's intention to destroy the Polish nation? I quote from the New York Times. German documents reveal that what we read at the Nuremberg Warrant Criminals trial revealed that Hitler had ordered his generals to kill without mercy all men, women, and children of the Polish race and language. Some translations say, kill without pity or mercy. Where was this order issued and to whom? British sources tell us that Hitler issued this order to his generals at Obersalzberg, Germany in 1939. In that speech, the one German historian quotes Hitler as saying in parts, "Our war aim does not consist in reaching certain lines, but in the physical destruction of the enemy." Racial superiority and the seizure of fertile farmland. To implement that conquest, on September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Western Poland. 17 days later, Hitler's powerful ally, the Soviet Union, invaded Eastern Poland, where I was born, and where some of the folks here were born. Looking at the middle of the inverted triangle, the conquest was violent. Cities were bombed, personal property was seized, resistors were killed. Thousands were deported in cattle car trains to concentration camps or to forced labor in Germany. I was 10 weeks old when I was put on such a train. My sister Mary was married. You were what, 2? 4. My sister Mary was 4 years old. My family home was burned, our land was confiscated, and we were deported. To a large extent, the Jewish population perished in concentration camps. And to a large extent, Christians were worked to death in forced labor camps. Thousands were also deported in the same kind of cattle trains, the Soviet Union. The oldest and the youngest, most frail, were the first to perish. At 10 weeks old, my own survivor has always felt like, I'm going to still get emotional when I talk. This dual aggression by the German-Soviet alliance was shattered in June 1941 when Germany invaded the Soviet Union with a surprise attack. In response, the Soviet Union joined the Allies, countries such as the United States and Great Britain. Why did the Allies welcome Stalin with open arms? Because he had huge numbers of men, of soldiers, to fight against Germany. He also freed some of the Polish families that had been deported in these cattle trains, and the men in that deportation were freed. They wound up fighting as part of the British Army because Poland was an occupied country. It could not have. It had its own underground army, but it couldn't have an official army. In my book, okay. So at the top of this inverted triangle, we verified the intention to kill. In the middle, we saw the methods and scale of killing. At the bottom of the triangle stands a person, somebody's mother or father, husband or wife, somebody's child, someone who played the violin, someone who grew a garden or liked to sing, perhaps a loving grandparent, or the teacher who taught you to read. Millions of them, millions of them. Of the 6 million Jews that were killed, 3 million of them were Polish citizens. And an estimated 5 million Christian deaths came from Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. For the Polish nation, let's compare the death toll that this country experienced on 9/11. We lost approximately 3,000 people in this country on 9/11. Something similar happened in Poland. But 9/11 in this country happened once. In Poland, when you average out the numbers, Poland had a 9/11 every day for 5.5 years. Because we had approximately 7 million Polish citizens killed. Poland was a multi-ethnic country. It had a Christian majority, a large Jewish minority, as well as Ukrainian, Belarusian, Russian, Lithuanian, Czech, and other minorities. They were all citizens. Poland lost I've seen estimates of 17 to 20% of the population. If you average out 365 days a year from September 1939 to May 1945, the number comes out to more than 3,000 deaths a day for 5.5 years. Now, wartime estimates, numbers are estimates. Within the chaos of war, you can't account for every precious life. So the total human loss in World War II is generally considered to be 60 million people. That includes military and civilians. But the U.S. Census Bureau has added an additional 19 to 28 million people. You see what a broad range, 19 to 28? It's impossible to be precise with wartime statistics. From disease and famine after the war, but these deaths were actually caused by the war. In one of my chapters, the speaker talks about her aunt. This is a family that was deported to Kazakhstan. The speaker talks about an aunt who died very soon after the war from heart disease. She had a heart condition while they were in exile doing forced labor in Kazakhstan that was never treated, and of course she was facing turmoil of exile, hunger, work. She died soon after the war, but she died because of the war. And so it's a whole other millions of people that are not always counted in those statistics. In my book, I set out to chronicle eyewitness accounts of 20 survivors who reflect my family. They're not all my family, but some of them are, but they all reflect my family. I would like to briefly describe some of the other eyewitnesses I met with. My 18-year-old Aunt Manya, my godmother, is taken at gunpoint from family and home. She is forced to work in an iron smelting factory in Germany. She eats too little, sleeps too little, works too hard, and knows that she could die any moment if the bomb hits her barrack. 15-year-old Antonina walks 4 miles round trip to school every day as she dreams of finishing her 7th grade diploma. That was the highest level available in her village. Instead, she is given as a servant to reward a family whose husband is a high-level officer in the German military. Stefan is a forestry student. He is fighting both German and Russian forces. His brigade holds a Russian doctor as prisoner of war. The doctor operates on an abscess in Stefan's stomach that saves his life on a table, no gloves. There were no gloves, with his bare hands. The Russian doctor saved Stefan's life. This man cared more about life than about conquest, even though he would have been on the winning side. Teenage Christina plans to become a doctor as she attends secret classes, in cold, ruined buildings to earn her high school diploma because the German authorities forbid education beyond elementary grades for Polish people. When I speak to young people and I say to them, do you really, I wish Ryan could hear this. We'll tell him. We'll make sure he knows that. Because if caught, teachers and students will be severely punished. Do you realize how powerful an education is? That this was forbidden to Polish people. Father Hyacinth survives Dachau, where he is among hundreds of other priests who are injected with blood of malaria-infected mosquitoes as part of medical experiments. This was part of Hitler's plan to destroy all religion. So, with the loss of so many lives, let's take a look at the Geneva Convention. Geneva Convention about how to handle and protect civilians during war goes all the way back to the 1800s and established the Red Cross. But in 1949, there was an addition in response to World War II atrocities with the Holocaust and other murders of civilians. It defines genocide as any of 5 acts committed with intent to destroy. With intent is critical here. With intent to destroy, and I've demonstrated to you the intent. In whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. And according to the Geneva Convention, there are 5 acts: killing, causing serious bodily or mental harm, imposing living conditions intended to destroy, preventing births, and forcibly transferring children out of the group. This is grim stuff, and it's true. We need a light moment here. As light in a moment as you can have when you talk about war. I would like to read a short excerpt from the book that actually ends well for my family. Forcibly transferring children as part of genocide. I could have been among them. But my story has a terrible twist. When my mother snuck out of the forced labor camp to find food for her children. Put it in a plastic bag so they knew it's mine. Mother walked to town and chose a prosperous-looking house. She knocked on the door. The woman who opened the door looked well-fed, so chances of getting food were good. From the woman's perspective, instead of a young woman basking in the joy of motherhood, there stood a beggar in rags, holding her hungry baby in a thin piece of cloth. That was me. The homeowner looked long at the babe in mother's arms. She then called over her Polish-speaking neighbor to ask why there were so many foreigners roaming around. Their government said they were gypsies who had just come there on their own will. They were surprised that we had been brought there by force. The woman gave mother food and told her to come back. Each time mother returned, the woman had questions. She learned that mother had 5 more hungry mouths to feed in the labor camp. In time, she asked mother into the house. Mother knew enough German by then for basic conversation as the woman rocked me in her arms. Once after cradling me a long time and humming German songs, she asked my name. Mother said, Danuta, that's what I was christened. Well, why doesn't she have a nice German name? And my mother's a very clever woman. Well, I'd like to know, what are some nice German names? Well, Maria or Heidi, but if she was my baby, I would call her Heidi. Mother knew that from then on, when asking for food, I had a nice German name, Heidi. But her time with the 2 women ended abruptly. One day, the Polish-speaking neighbor joined them in the garden as the German woman cradled me in her arms. After some words between the 2 women that mother didn't understand, the neighbor voiced an urgent plea. This woman wants your baby. Mother stiffened and her heart was racing. The neighbor coaxed her gently. Give her this little girl. She and her husband, they have no children. For you, 6 is a hardship. You may be saving her life. The German woman had decided on a name for me, trying to reassure mother, who said wide-eyed in stone silence, she said, this baby will have every advantage. My little Heidi. Probably wouldn't. Mother struggled. No, my baby. Give away my baby? No, that's not possible. It will be easier for you and your family with 1 less mouth to feed. But she is my family, part of me and my husband. Whatever happens will happen to the whole family. Give her away? No, we cannot be separated. Mother yanked me out of her arms and held me tightly. She said to me when we were talking about this, my God, Danuta, how she wanted you. Both women pleaded with me. I held you tighter and started to leave. The woman told mother to wait. while she went inside. Babies were taken from parents, so would there be trouble? But she returned with bread, grain, and sugar for the family. Eager to be a mother, she had laid out baby clothes. She gave mother little outfits, booties, and blankets, then for her new baby hiding. She kissed me tenderly, lingered to touch my cheek, and walked into the house with effort. That German woman was amazing. She could have reported my mother to the authorities. She could have gotten that baby because my mother was breaking the law by speaking out of the forced labor camp. But that was her only way to find food for her children. And that woman walked back, she was so hurt, she was so disappointed. And yet she made this incredible gesture of kindness. You know, when I read about brutal behavior, brutalities, I'm just like kind of stone-faced. But when I come across incredible kindness, which was forbidden or dangerous or too much trouble, that's when I cry about the kindness. It's because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So, how does so my book is an anti-war book. It's not an anti-any human being book. It's an anti-war book. The most important statement in my book is that these people who I interviewed show us the danger of identifying solely with a group or ideology rather than the fact of shared humanity. How does one wounded in body and soul return to life? I asked the survivors. During our interviews, we shed many tears together. Painful, but they were not broken people. This was the amazing. I mean, I knew some of the people, they were my family, but some of these people, I did not know them, but they were not broken people. They were not defeated. They knew that hatred in our hearts becomes a burden that we have to carry on our own shoulders. Instead, they created meaningful lives based on love, as my parents did. One of the survivors, excuse me, because I'm excited about doing this. One of the survivors in the book is in this room, besides me, is in this room with us today. And she is the epitome of people who were targeted for removal from this face of the earth. Instead, they came away not bitter and creating amazing lives. I want you to meet my sister, Marnie Wojciechowski. Talk about creating meaningful lives. She married. She worked full-time as a certified municipal court administrator. She raised 4 children. One of them is here. Lori, wave your hand. Okay. She went to college. She studied karate. She trained seeing eye dogs. And I'm sure there's more stuff that they just came from a memorial service from one of Ryan's classmates who died very young. And they organized it. This is an example of the survivors that I met with. They survived emotionally by the miracle of love. Parental love, love of siblings, neighbors, friends, even kindness of strangers. After the war, my family received 8 packages, there was 8 of us, for 2 years from the United Nations Relief and Rehabilitation Administration. We were fed by people across an ocean in America who did not know us. This is kindness of strangers. I asked the survivors how they see their losses. They had the grit to withstand the war, but I just fell in love with them because they were brave in spirit. Here are some of what they said. One person said, No one in my family was killed, so it's easier to talk about forgiveness. I don't feel anger or hatred, mostly sadness that people could behave this way. Another said, the German side caused the war. Hitler kept pushing until he got his way, which we know is historically true. But the German people living today didn't cause the war. Here are some other responses. The Russian villagers were such good people, so poor, yet they shared their last piece of bread, making a distinction between the people and the government. I would like to forget by remembering those who were kind. Another person said, we should not hold on to anger. Every group has good and bad, but I'm sad about the injustice. The sadness came through. I still dream about it. I wish this never happens to anybody else. So she's concerned about other people. She lives through this thing and she's thinking about other people. The two most amazing answers were, the first was from my godmother, Maria, who was kidnapped at 19 from her home. She said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I think many of you in this audience know that prayer and you've said it often. My godmother knew what it meant. And the other one was the family that was taken to Kazakhstan. The woman said, still amazing, I feel sorrow for people who were capable of such abuse toward other human beings. She felt sorry for them. Now, this is not a woman with any big advanced psychology degrees or anything. This is just a woman who knew. She knew that cruelty to others degrades your own humanity. She knew that. She felt sorry for them. Those were amazing. Could I have such largeness of spirit? I don't know. You don't know that until you're in that situation. These survivors lived with painful memories, but they knew that ultimate defeat is bitterness of heart. They knew that the abuser only wins if he transfers the hatred in his heart into your heart. They had the ultimate victory because they survived, still able to love. And what are we as human beings without the capacity to love? I thank you for your interest and for your love. Signing here, and Irene, did you want to say something?
Sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. So Donna will be here for a while to sign books for you. These are for sale up in the front. And we're so delighted that you
Oh, and also I had some questions.
Oh, sure.
I know Marta was asking me some questions.
So, Donna, I know that there are many reasons why you wrote this book, but could you tell me about the most important to you? Was it a way? Was it therapeutic for you? Was it to educate Americans about the Polish history?
Well, I came to this country, well, after the war, 2 years in the forced labor camp, we were homeless for 5 years. 5 years, 5 different refugee camps. So I was 7 when I came to this country. And I was very lucky to benefit from the public education that was available to me. I mean, that makes all the difference in my life. But I noticed that everything that we had gone through, we lost everything. And when they taught World War II history, whether it was on the college level or the graduate level, there was never any mention about what happened to Polish people, Polish Christians. No mention. And I thought that was strange. So, and I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to get more of the history about it. So I went to the library. And again, I couldn't find books that, I know there are heavy-duty history books that have written about it. And the average person does not read heavy-duty history books. So I wanted to, in a way, write the book I couldn't find in the library because I wanted to approach it from the human angle. What does this do to people? How do people get through something like this. And then, of course, you have to give some historic background because you have to explain, well, why did this happen? So you do have to go into a certain level of history. And yes, it was therapeutic to be able to tell the story and to be able to speak to people about it. I'm going to be giving a speech in Hartford on June 23rd, and it's at a church, St. Cyril and Methodius in Hartford. And I found out that there are people who are parishioners there still from my town of Naliboki, where we were born. And it's going to be therapeutic for me. It's going to be therapeutic for them to be able to tell the story. Do we have any other questions? Michael?
I don't want to make an erroneous guess. The pictures behind you, that's your family?
Thank you. This is my mother holding me after we were liberated. We were, the last 3 days of the war, there were like maybe 200 people in a dugout, underground dugout. And the Allied fighters and the Germans were fighting above us. If they dropped a bomb on where people were hiding, that was it. It could have happened. It could have happened to us. And then after we were brought out, we were actually rescued by American soldiers. And there was a soldier that came into the bunker is the word, came into the bunker, and he says, "My name is Stash, and I come from a place in America called Chicago." Okay? Okay. And just hearing Polish for them was just so amazing. And they dragged out like 200 people out of this bunker where 200 people stood for 2 nights and 3 days because there was no room to lie down or sleep. And those soldiers, American soldiers, were gagging from the stench in that bunker, with so many people. So this is after liberation. This is my mother holding me after liberation, and this is my oldest brother Henry, my brother Chester, my sister Yanka. This is Mary over there. And this is my brother Dan. And just the two of us are left now. We were all lucky to survive the war and come. So this was the film. Mary said I should have picked your father. I really should. Yeah. To complete the picture. We were all very lucky to survive that we came here. Yeah. And also, I just wanted to something else. This is something I got from the U.S. Holocaust Museum in Washington, and they put together this amazing poster because people have to be labeled. They have to be labeled because the labeling indicated how many calories you were allowed legally. So Polish people could have 700 calories a day. Well, that's not survival. Jewish people could have 400 calories a day. But the Holocaust Museum put together, here's the Star of David. Here's actually where I got the idea for the cover of the book. This was for Polish people, the label. And you had to wear this label, and that determined. So it's called, because there were many categories of people, different Polish people, Czechs, political prisoners, criminals, homosexuals, Jehovah's Witnesses, handicapped people I mentioned. There were so many different people that were targeted for extermination. So they did a very good job of putting this together. Okay, so if you can stroll around, there's a wonderful store. Stroll around. I'd like to meet some people that I'm not sure who you are, but I'd like to meet all of you, okay? Yes, I'd like to meet these ladies, those folks over there. So don't run away, whether you get a book or not. I'd love to meet you. Yeah, I'd like to meet you. That gentleman over here said, now this is a very nice European gentleman. He knows that when you go out, you look sheep. And he does. And he really does. Okay. Yeah, I want to talk to you. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for coming. It's just, this is so gratifying. Yeah, let's put this in here. So nice to see you, too. Tell me who you are.
Yes.
My name's Eve.
Yeah.
We were actually meeting here today. We met already, and we meet every other day.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
She's not on her.
Very nice.
So he published the project like you.
Do you live regularly?
Yeah. So we go write together.
That's wonderful.
And she says that from other side it says
She always spoke to me, or well, maybe to us, about the impact of Polish people, how many Polish people in the war. And so it's very about I never got to try to but I do remember in school, like that wasn't really mentioned. So I think it's a little weird. She was a mayor, I mean, she was an assistant mayor, but she was yes, I had heard all that.
Yes.
I didn't know a lot.
Need to speak for
Is this a new book?
It's my first book. It's probably my 8 years old.
oh, that's so sweet.
But I really enjoy
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for that.
Is it by purchasing here
Cashier's desk was on the
Yes. So it's like also my copy. So most of her family was here in the United States. They did have like a lot of details. It was just kind of where she was first or second. I would call her Bruce, my grandmother. I think maybe it just had a baby but I know my mom. I always think it's not work stand. Just talking about education.
Okay.
My parents did not speak English in the house. Or to each other, but they wouldn't teach their children because there was a stereotype of it. Like the stereotype was really big. And at least they're in Detroit, they're from Detroit. And so he didn't want his children to be identified as And so like they didn't touch them. And I think that's really sad because for that reason he didn't want people to make their mistakes. Because my brother or my grandpa, I guess got upset. I always thought that was really sad, you know, too. And so yeah, I just think it might be interesting. I might learn more. I've heard a little bit about this. They kept a lot of and they also kind of like
I knew you were married when I
they wanted them to be
Your temperature was completely.
and now I'm like, yeah, so I've always been more curious, you know. So yeah. So I'll go real quick and well, what else? Random.
I'll just use that word. Energetic. My dad was never go on the yeah, or wild.
Jen and friends of home. Yes.
Yes. I
here, right?
Thank you.
I read it.
So me and my husband have
No, it's
Oh, for Chinese New Year. And they cleaned the house. And they cleaned the house. Your parents come from China.
But they still go. Good for them. Let's see, do you guys stay busy? That's excellent. I wish I would give you more notice, but I don't do it today because every day I live by the day.
Oh, everybody.
Right? You have to.
Everybody.
You do that. I'll do that. I know. So busy. Yeah, we live by the day.
Of everything. Like, everything is always over, right?
It is, but it's, you know, it doesn't get lower until it gets higher. So, you know, it's okay. I don't have 786 kids. Look,
Yeah. I just need that.
Zen practice, right? Yeah, did I show you the plan?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I did. I showed you
did.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very nice.
You went to that school? This time
By far.
I didn't even know why I'm sharing that.
This is like the confession. Somebody who
Beauty, yes. This is a woman, long story short, when the grandmother dies, the granddaughter knows that her grandmother was very secretive about her life. And she researches it, and she's just survived. So pretty, she never told me. Beautiful book. Lord, I don't know if it's there. My name's Connie.
Hello. Nice to meet you too.
We need a filmmaker, huh?
Oh, yes, we know.
Yeah, let's get together. Team cookies.
Yeah.
Team cookies.
Well, that's going to be July.
I learned something new this one.
Okay, July.
Even though you're reading
Okay, you can read it July.
we'll see Thursday.
Bye, darling.
Yeah, that's getting you.
Take care now.
Yes, you
My
too.
dear.
Take care.
Now you read
Lots of
You too.
prayers.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Irene, you have to see this.
Oh, it's all highlighted.
When she reads a good book, she says she's.
Oh, that's so
Look,
sweet.
oh my goodness. Look at
Wow.
that. I am delighted. You know,
fabulous.
she's the editor.
Oh, okay.
This book would not have been this quality without this
It
lady.
is high quality.
Thank you very much.
All the Polish words are spelled the right way, you know. And this is where I am, you know. So
Nice.
It's so
Okay,
lovely.
wonderful. Wait till you get to the priest.
Okay. So, I thank you very much.
So what did you buy?
That you wrote this book, you know, because it's part of my family's history.
It is. It's Polish history. Well, like I said, I'm glad. I wanted you to ask that question because I think this is the book that was missing. The book that people will read. People don't read, most people don't. We need those heavy duty books. We need a record of what they're reading. The average person doesn't read those. But people will read it. Because they want to know about the human beings. And that's what matters.
Yeah, actually, I recommended this book to my friends, and they told me that there's a long wait in the Lawrenceville library, you know, like
For wait, for what?
to read your book. Like, people are lining up. There's a long list.
Yeah.
Listen, my not
So my friend lives in Lawrence Township,
Yes,
and she wanted to read this book, and she checked the Mercer County library system.
Yes. Okay.
And they have this book. However, there is a very long line of
Oh,
people
waiting list. Very interesting.
What do you think of the speech there? Would some people?
Oh yeah.
Would they want to buy the book?
I don't know. That I don't know. But there is a big Polish population in Lawrence Township.
There is.
Thank